What's going on, everybody? Welcome to Have At It, episode 78. My name is Ben Cornett, and you're watching this live on my YouTube channel, Ben Cornett 9015, as well as on Instagram. Yes, I'm doing this one live on Instagram as well at Ben702 Forever, and of course on Facebook at the Ben Zone Facebook group. If you're not in the Facebook group, then if you're a friend of mine on my personal page, then you're watching that on there as well. How is everybody doing tonight? It is Thursday, January 16th, 2025. And yes, we had quite a week in the playoffs this past weekend. There was like pretty much five blowouts, and then the one good game, the best game of the weekend of the wild card round. Unfortunately, my Bucks against the Commanders, and the Commanders came out on top. They won 23-20. I did the Bucks post game react on that. If you want to go back and watch that, go ahead. Give you my thoughts on that. But yeah, so as you know, tonight I'm gonna talk a little bit about the NFL divisional round coming up. I think we got four really good games. The teams, I would say three of the four teams looked evenly matched. Could go either way. I think one game honestly probably won't be as good, probably be a decisive victory. But you never know. But anyway, before we get into all that, I just want to say that about the Bucks, again, good season, another division title. Disappointed that it came to an end abruptly. You know, would have liked to have gone further into the postseason, but we ran into a good Washington team. Give them credit. They've been pretty much on a roll right now. Playing really good football at the right time, and they came out on top. What can I say? I mean, you know, sometimes you just got to give credit where credit's due. Now, did we have our chances? Did the Bucks have their chances to win? Absolutely. But the Commanders made more plays than we did. We had a crucial turnover late in the game that swung the momentum back to Washington. And that was that. You know, no excuses. The Commanders were the better team. They played better. Ran the ball pretty well. The Bucks defense I thought was really good as well. Um, you know, f- I heard the comments, from various social media outlets, about how um, people are playing, blaming the defense and for the reason why the Bucks lost. But the offense gets some blame as well. It goes both ways. Listen, the play calling you could say for the offense by Liam Cohen was questionable. Um, we probably should have ran the ball better. Had some more screen passes. Surprised we didn't see more screen plays. Um, the defense, give them credit. They stopped the Commanders three times in the red zone on fourth down. I mean, to me, that's very good defense. And you know what happened after that? Well, after that third stop on fourth down, Bucks get the ball. And this is one of the things that kind of just scratched my head. Like, why are we running a jet sweep? Now people say, oh, it's if it works, it's a great play call. But why would you run that play call in your own territory, really around the 20-yard line? I didn't get that. And they fumbled the ball, and you can only ask the defense to do so much at that point. They just got off the field. And the other thing is the Bucks, or the Commanders, I'm sorry, didn't even punt the ball in the game. We didn't even allow them to punt the ball. So yeah, you can say, well, the defense, they had a little bit of a hand in the loss as well because they couldn't get off the field. But I just felt that key play, that turnover by Baker, cost the Bucks the game there. was one of the things that cost them the game because, it was they had a chance to go down and win the game or secure the win, and the turnover killed them. Brought the defense back out there. It was already tired. I mean, you can only make so many stops. Commanders were gonna, eventually cash in, and that's what they did. So, but it brings me to, the guy that's getting a lot of the blame is one Todd Bowles, head coach of the Buccaneers, and a lot of people are calling for his head. Like they want him gone. They want Liam Cohen to be promoted to offensive coordinator. Let me just say something right now. Why would you fire a head coach who has won 3 straight division titles? I'm curious on that. The Bucs have been to the playoffs 3 years in a row with Todd Bowles as the head coach. Now, granted, it's been a pretty crappy division, but someone's got to win that division, right? Somebody has to win the division, and that's what the Bucs have done. They've been consistent. Could they have been better in these years? Absolutely. But this idea of promoting Liam Cohen to be the head coach, I've read stuff about how he's the next Sean McVay and stuff. Like, how do we know that? He doesn't have that much offensive coordinator experience. And yes, Todd Bowles is, he's got his issues. I'll admit, is he a great coach? No. Is he a top 5 head coach in the league? No. But the players play hard for him. They don't quit on him. And he's done a pretty good job with the roster that he's had. And, there are a lot of injuries this year. We have to keep that in mind too. So, we just have to take that into account. We can't just say all of a sudden, no, we got to get rid of him. Now, I will say this. It is fair to say that his playoff record is 1-3. We got to be honest about that. It is 1-3. He's coming back next year. Okay, he's not going anywhere. But I will say this: if next year, that let's say we win the division again, and there's a good chance we will. Baker's going to be back. Mike Evans is going to be back. Vita Vea is back. Antoine Winfield, hopefully he'll be healthy. Chris Godwin, hopefully he gets re-signed. And we'll see what Levante wants to do. But let's say all of them come back. And we win the division again, which could be very likely. And we have another early round exit in the playoffs. Then, okay. Then I think it would be fair to start getting Bulls on the hot seat because, that would, let's say he loses first round again. That would make him 1-4. And you got to say, well, maybe we do got to change something because, with the team they have, with the young players they've developed, it would be fair to say, you know what? Maybe Todd's can only take us to a certain spot. Maybe he only could get us so far. But for right now, we're not going to fire him. Why should we? I mean, again, he's won 3 straight division titles. There's consistency. Something we didn't have in the previous decade. Remember that decade? I tried not to. I have at least a couple of hemorrhoids because of that decade. That was a bad era. 2010 to 2019. No playoff appearances, only 2 winning seasons, 5 head coaches, 2 GMs. And I know it's after the fact, but a partridge in a pear tree. We were terrible. We had multiple quarterbacks. So this idea of, got to fire the coach now. Like, come on. We haven't had this much consistently good football in a long time. We got to enjoy it, okay? Again, Todd's not going nowhere. He'll be back next year. Now, if we have the same result in 2025 as we did 2024, okay, then it would be fair to start having that conversation. Maybe we need to make a move. But for right now, I'm fine with him being back. Does he drive me nuts a little bit? Sure. The game management could be a lot better. There's some things he could do better at. No doubt about it. But for right now, we're doing fine. Okay. Just my 2 cents. That's all. All right. So now we're going to move on to the NFC and AFC divisional round playoff games. But before we do that, let's go to some comments. We got some comments here on YouTube. Let me see that. Christopher Cole, thanks for tuning in. Appreciate he's on YouTube saying the loss is on the entire team. Yeah. Offense had a big turnover. The play calling was not the greatest. And the defense couldn't get off the field. Then the turnover offense forced the defense to give up a touchdown on that drive. Christopher Cole, Servassier Dennis will be back. Yeah, he's still under a rookie contract. He's got to stay healthy. Christopher Cole, plus they have money to spend next year too. Probably do. I got to see what their cap is. I'm not sure on that, Chris. I should get back to you on that, but yeah, hopefully we got the money to spend, and we'll go over like the free agents, draft stuff when we get to that point. So there's plenty of time to talk about that. Jim Melvin, thanks for tuning in, Jim. How you doing tonight? Bills, Lions, Texans, Rams, Dolphins, Seahawks, Cardinals, 49ers, Eagles. The Bucks could be better next year and still not go 500. Yeah, it is true. You look at the teams right now. Let's just say in our conference alone, the NFC, the Lions obviously look like Super Bowl contenders, could win it all this year. The Eagles, another Super Bowl type contender. The Rams, I think, they got it. They're drafting very well. Their defense is starting to come along. The offense is finally healthy. The 49ers, I would say they'll probably be back next year. Injuries killed them this year. I wouldn't count them out. Chiefs, they're going to be there as long as you got Mahomes. Texans, we'll see. They took a step back, in my opinion, this year. Obviously, CJ needs a better offensive line. Got to get help on that line. The Bills, always a good team, especially Josh Allen. Although the Bills are the Bills when it comes to the playoffs. So we'll get into that in a minute. But thanks for the comment, Jim. Let me read something on the Facebook. Now, again, with Facebook, it's weird. I can't put the comments up, but I will read them. Corey King Brown, Texas defense upsets KC Chiefs. We'll get into that in a minute. Bucks lost a rookie quarterback, says Corey. Yeah, well, it happens. And Jaden Daniels getting better and better. So Bucks defense can't stop Washington Commanders screen passes. Yeah, there's some key moments in that game where Cliff Kingsbury, the OC for the Commanders, who's a hot commodity right now as far as head coaching candidates, called a good game. Give him a lot of credit. Blackie, thanks for tuning in, man. He's commenting on Facebook. He says, has Jerry Jones called you yet, Ben Cornett? No, because I would tell him like it is, and I wouldn't kiss his ass. Good old Jerry. But he wants Dion there, so who knows? It's the Cowboys. As long as Jerry Jones owns that team, they're never going to go anywhere. And besides, he's really the head coach of that team. He's been the head coach of that team for the last 30 years, ever since Jimmy Johnson left. So, Corey, Bucks versus Commanders next season, rematch playoffs, hopefully. Yeah, could be. Both teams are definitely playoff teams. Are going to bring their rosters back pretty much. So, yeah, we could definitely see that. Bucks loaded with injury, fire medical staff. Yeah. Bucks had a lot of injuries this year. Obviously, Antoine Winfield was out. Godwin was out for the year. Dean missed some games. Mike Evans missed 4 games. Yeah. It sucks. It sucks to have all those injuries, but it's part of the NFL. Jerry Jones, next Cowboys head coach. And he's, like I said, he's been the Cowboys coach for over 30 years now. So, Misador, thanks for tuning in, man. How you doing tonight? He says, "What's up, Ben? What's up, Misador? Thanks for tuning in." By the way, you can watch the Crew Roundtable, Misador, I Candy Andy, the rest of the crew every Sundays. They do a great job. I post it on the Ben Zone. You can watch it on their YouTube channel as well. Blackie says, "Hate that we lost, but we did have some good things happen this season." Baker baked. Evans got his 11th 1,000-yard season. Yep. 7-15 got better as the season went along. Yeah, I agree. O-line was better than I expected. Yeah. It does need to improve though still. I think the thing that bothered me were the penalties. But again, you're dealing with the rookie and Graham Barton. Cody Mock's only in his second year, so yeah, they'll get better. And won a division again. Yeah, 4 years in a row now. So it's incredible. Bucks 5-1 since 2018 versus Eagles, regular season and playoffs. Yep, good point. And go to YouTube. Christopher Cole says the rest of the division has to play nearly the same teams. Yeah. And, next year I believe we play the NFC West, which is the Rams, Niners, Seahawks, Cardinals, and the AFC East. Is it the AFC East? I believe it is, yeah. So, yeah, it just gets tougher and tougher. All right. So, that being said, Misador says, "Miss me with the injury. Nobody had more injuries than Detroit, and how are they doing?" That's fair. That's absolutely fair. And Misador and I said this before, Todd is 1-3 in the playoffs, It's not good. And, next year, if we have that same result again where we win the division, lose in the playoffs early, I think it's fair to say, what, maybe we got to go a different direction. Maybe it's because Todd can only get us so far. Maybe it's the Dungy thing. He can only get us to a certain point. So that's totally fair. I mean, the Lions, great team, still getting it done. So very fair. Very fair. Let's see. Get a drink of water here. All right. So now we're going to talk about the divisional round, the playoffs. This is going to be fun. Start off Saturday on ESPN ABC. We got the Houston Texans at the Kansas City Chiefs. My pick on this one is going to be the Chiefs. Like I said earlier, the Texans, their offensive line is not very good. And I'll just say this. The MVP for the Houston Texans in that game against the Chargers was Justin Herbert. He had 4 picks, including a pick 6. And that was the key for the Texans winning that game. They got to go to KC now. They might make it a game for about a quarter or two, but KC will pull away. They will. I'm confident in that. And they'll move on to the AFC Championship game. So I'm going Chiefs over the Texans. And by the way, KC's getting healthy at the right time, too. They got everybody back. They got the week off. They may have a little rust to start, but, that's typical teams with a bye. They hadn't played in. Do you worry that they haven't played in a few weeks? Yeah, I mean, as far as their starters, a little bit, but this team's just too experienced. They've been there before, so they should be fine. All right, then the Saturday night game, we got a pretty good matchup. I'm liking it. The Washington Commanders at the Detroit Lions. That game's at 8 p.m. Eastern on Fox. This is going to be a fun game to watch. You got an up-and-comer and Jaden Daniels against Jared Goff. That Lions defense is incredible, even without Hutchinson. They are going to get the Lions, that is, going to get David Montgomery back. So him and Gibbs are going to be available. I expect a very exciting game, a run-heavy type of offense for the Lions. We all know Ben Johnson calling the plays. Also another hot coaching commodity, probably the hottest one on the market right now. My prediction on this, I think it's going to be close, but I got Detroit winning. The experience and the home field, that crowd. And I will say this: the crowd in Tampa last weekend, there was a pretty good amount of Commanders fans there. You could hear them, especially when they're chanting MVP when Jaden was out there. Let's face it, Tampa's a transplant town. They're always going to have a lot of visiting fans there. Yes, it was pretty loud for the Bucs, more than normal because it's a playoff game. But now you're going to Detroit Ford Field. That crowd's going to be even louder, and it's in a dome. So the acoustic's going to be louder. We'll see how the Commanders handle it, especially Jaden. Will we have to go silent count? Who knows? Maybe. But I do like the Lions in this game. I think they're going to be KC. So it'll be a close game. I'll go like 31-24. But it should be a very fun game. Can't wait to see it. So I got the Commanders. The Lions beating the Commanders out of that one. They're going to NFC Championship game as well. All right. Before we get to the Sunday games, I do got a couple more comments here. Musador says it's 2010 to 2015. You would gladly take being a perennial playoff team, no questions asked, but I'll digress. Okay, no, that's cool, me. Again, that's what I gotta including myself, I gotta tell myself, but you remember what happened last decade? And you're like, yeah, okay, yeah, this is a pretty good situation right now. So, but in fairness, again, I do expect our team to be better than it has been. We should be taking those next steps too. So I'm not ignoring that. Just pointing out that, there are still those fans out there who, what? We got to fire him now. Just calm down. That's all I'm saying. It's perspective, So, Blackie, he says Texans will upset the Chiefs 24-23. Lions over Washington 38-28. Yeah, again, I mean, it'd probably be the upset of the decade if the Texans actually beat the Chiefs, but that offensive line for Houston, I don't trust it. I mean, even against the Chargers, see, the Texans turned it over. They fumbled the ball early in that game. I don't trust that offensive line for Houston. I just don't. That's all. Christopher Cole says on YouTube, Detroit has a lot better depth, and that's why they are where they are. That's fair. They do. They have some team. I mean, they probably have better depth than the Bucs, that's for sure. But again, look, we still had a great year. We're not firing Todd. But I would say next year at this time, if the Bucs are in the same predicament as they are right now, finish the same as they did, then that's 4 years in a row where you haven't really seen progress as far as the team trying to get to the ultimate goal, and that's to win a Super Bowl. It would be fair to say, injuries or not, you have to start saying, maybe a change in direction could be at the helm. So, but for right now, no. I mean, you still got Baker there. You got Evans. Godwin, hopefully he comes back. McMillan's developed well. Bucky's developed well. So the offensive line's getting better. So, you give it another year with Todd, because he's done a good job. Could it be better? Absolutely. But, to fire somebody after 3 straight division titles, that's a little premature, in my opinion. And Jim says, Mahomes is a credible quarterback, but he's an even better actor. His commercials with Andy Reid are hysterical. Yeah. Mahomes definitely has a career after this. So, why not? Why not? All right. And we got Scott Thaler in the house. He's saying, Ben, it's time to jump on the Rams bandwagon. No. All right. So, with that being said, speaking of the Rams, let's get to Sunday's games. The Rams at the Eagles. It's going to be a fun game, man. I did say, and Scott, you know this in the chats, I did say if the Rams get healthy, they're a dangerous team. They're going to Philly. It's going to be a very tough game. I'm hearing that the weather's going to be snowy, and it's going to depend on the run game. Eagles got Saquon. The Rams got Kyren Williams. And we all know it's fair to say Saquon's the better running back. But I'm going to go out on a limb here. And no, Scott, this is not me jumping on the bandwagon. This is me saying that for this game only, I got the Rams upsetting the Eagles here. Now, I know the weather conditions aren't ideal, and I could be wrong, but I'm going with an upset. I think the Rams are going to beat Philly 27-24. I just feel like Jalen Hurts he's not played his best football. Now, could it be because of the concussion, the injury coming back? It could be. I don't know. I just don't feel like Jalen's 100%. And I feel like Matt Stafford, if that offensive line gives Stafford any kind of time, he can carve that defense right up. Now, Philly's got a great defense, a great pass defense. So the line for the Rams is going to have to be good. But I just got a feeling that the Rams are going to go to Philly and pull off that upset. You heard it right here, everybody. I'm going Rams over the Eagles 27-24. All right. Now, finally, we got probably my favorite game of the week. We got the Baltimore Ravens at the Buffalo Bills. And it's like Philly, the weather's going to be very similar, snowy, very, very cold. Ravens are a 1-point favorite, from what I understand, against the Bills. I'm going to go with the Ravens as well. Now, the only thing I don't like, kind of worries me, is 2 things. One, a lot of experts are picking the Ravens. Games in Buffalo. Number 2, Zay Flowers hasn't practiced all week. He's a top-notch receiver, and they're going to need him. But again, maybe this is just me going by the fact that Buffalo's being Buffalo, but I just feel like the Ravens are the better team. They run the ball better. Lamar's you got 2 people to worry about. Lamar or Derrick Henry. Both those guys put a scare in you, especially good defenses. And I just feel like Derrick Henry's been the difference for that Baltimore team. The reason why the Ravens offense is a lot better and why them as a whole has been better. And these are perfect, conditions for a running back. Derrick Henry can run. And if they feed him, and I will say this too, that I also think a key to or Baltimore rather, beating Buffalo. And I know I've had Ravens fans. I got a Ravens fan at work. Shout out to Devin if he's watching. He's a Ravens fan. And I told him that, and he disagrees with me, but I feel like Lamar has to beat this team throwing the ball. Because Lamar, the last few weeks, has taken a lot of hits. And Buffalo is going to be hitting hard. I think less Lamar running and more throwing the ball. And he has to make the passes. He has to make the plays. Make those throws. But if he can do that, then, without getting all banged up, then I think the Ravens have a great chance of winning this game. And, then you go into KC, assuming they play KC, with the more durable Lamar Jackson. That's just my opinion. I like the Ravens beating the Bills. I got them winning 20-17 over Buffalo. Buffalo, they're just running into a great team in Baltimore. And yes, Buffalo's Buffalo. They're going to struggle in the playoffs like they always do. I just don't trust them. I don't. So those are my picks for the weekend. I'm picking the Chiefs, Lions, Rams is my upset pick, and the Ravens. So that'll set up the Chiefs, Ravens, Rams, Lions conference title games. So with that being said, let me know in the comment section who you guys think. We got Jim Melvin saying if Lamar and Henry stay healthy through these playoffs, they will win the Super Bowl, in my opinion. Yeah. They very well could. If we do get to that matchup, I will give you my opinions on that next week. But yeah, I mean, that's the key. If they stay healthy and they play well, they could be very unstoppable. So let's see. Misador says Jared Verse a lot to handle. Got the Rams by 10. Yeah, I agree. Well, I think it'll be closer, but I do like the Rams in this game. I do. Corey King Brown, Eagles 2 wide receiver Brown and Smith banged up this season. Yeah, they've had some injuries. Definitely. And, with AJ Brown on the sideline last week, reading a book. I mean, that's just immature stuff. I mean, I don't know. I mean, he's a clown. He's a great player, but he better be focused this week because the Rams are defense is gonna zero in on him. Bills pass ball too much. They don't run the football. Yeah, but Corey, last week they did run the ball pretty well with James Cook. So, but also they can't just have Josh Allen do everything. And that's what I'm afraid of with the Bills is in this game, they might have Josh Allen once again do too much, and that could be their demise. So we'll see what happens. Scott Taylor says Rams 31, Eagles 17. All right. Scott has Bills 27, Ravens 21. We'll see. And Bills like Maple Leaf playoffs, something go wrong, backfire. Yeah. Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, that's from Corey. So see what happens. Should be a great weekend. I cannot wait for the playoffs. We got 2 games Saturday, 2 games Sunday. Man, this is going to be fun. I cannot wait. Let's do it, man. Let's do it. Let's get these games going. I think all these games, I would say 3 out of the 4 games have potentials to be 1-score games and could go down to the wire. So yeah, this, again, I'm not saying Houston doesn't have a chance, but at the same time, I just think KC is too much. I just worry about that offensive line. That's why I got KC win by 2 scores, at least 2 scores. Again, just my opinion. All right. So with that being said, everybody, I'm going to go ahead and take off here, but I wanted to come on here tonight and I had some free time. I want to thank everybody for tuning in. Christopher Cole, Jim Melvin on YouTube, as well as on Facebook as well. We had Corey Brown as usual, Scott Taylor, Misador, Blackie. Thank you everybody for tuning in. It's been a lot of fun, and hopefully, whichever teams are still in it, hopefully, good luck to them. Best of luck. I know Commanders. Shout out to Sean Spencer, Will Kramer. I know this is a great moment for you guys. Enjoy it. It's a lot of fun. Alex Loosemore with the Lions. I can't wait to. I know they're going to do a show. I know those guys, Sean and Alex and Will, they're going to do a show. They have to. I'm definitely tuning in for that. So best of luck to both of you guys. Scott, good luck to you guys on the Rams. See what happens, man. I'm picking the Rams as an upset, but I'm not joining the bandwagon. I'm just picking them to win this week. So that being said, everybody, thank you for tuning in. Don't forget my YouTube channel, Ben Cornett 9015. Give me a like, share, and subscribe. Greatly appreciate that. As well as on my Instagram, Ben702forever. And then on X at BennyBoy702. And of course, Facebook, the Ben Zone Facebook group. And and Jim, you have a great one as well, man. Appreciate that. Again, thanks for tuning in, Jim. Chris on YouTube. And that's all I got for this episode of Have At It. And we'll be back here next time on Have At It, everybody. So have a great night, and I'll see you guys next time.